Hey folks, Mark here again, and today is going to be a fundamental, and it's what I call Peytons 5+1. Now, Peyton Quinn came up with these 5 rules, okay, and they're really, really simple. Do not insult him, do not threaten him, do not challenge him, don't deny it's happening, and give him a face-saving exit. Now, you'll find these behaviors are at the root of a whole lot of conflict. Basically, if you do these things to another person, okay, you're going to trigger their monkey. Now, I say Peyton's 5+1 because I added one to it, and this thing especially applies to women, and that is number 6, or the +1. Do not imperiously command somebody. Now, we're going to run through these things. Do not insult him, right? De-escalation never starts or never includes the word motherfucker. Okay? Trust me. They just... people think, oh, I'm really going to drive my point home. And in doing so, they actually insult the guy. So they think if they make this big, bad... see how much contempt I have for you? I'm going to say these words. I'm going to call you this name. Right up until the moment that they're like, well, what happened? Okay? It's a big problem. You can communicate and be very firm about your boundaries, up to and including the fact that you're about to blow his brains into a fine pink mist, without being obnoxious, right? You don't have to be verbally hostile, and insults are verbally hostile. But you can communicate boundaries clearly, like this ain't gonna happen, without becoming obnoxious. But we tend to, when we're emotional, when we're adrenalized, when the monkey is driving the bus, we want to display our contempt for that other monkey. That tends to end badly. The next thing is do not threaten him. Okay. Another good example of words not to include in de-escalation is, I'm going to kick your ass. Okay. A threat to somebody, well, let's just say he might believe you. And, funny thing about threats, if the guy believes you, he thinks he's acting in self-defense. So you're standing there threatening him, and all, next thing you know, surprise, he believed you. Challenge him. There was an actress by the name of Nicole Dufresne. No lie, her last words were to a robber, 5 of them, but one particular guy who just pistol whipped her boyfriend. She said, "You got what you wanted. Why don't you leave? What are you going to do now? Shoot us?" Mr. Dufresne discovered that, yes, that's exactly what he was going to do. Now, I want you to realize the importance of what I'm talking about here is sitting here watching it in the comfort of your home or wherever you are. That may seem like the stupidest thing ever to say, but it is an adrenalized monkey response, okay? And it'll get you killed. If you let the monkey this is a dangerous situation. Monkey doesn't see that. The lizard does. What the monkey sees is the insult to you, the wrong done to you, the how dare you do this. And that is what's going to provoke a lot of these reactions. Okay, so you got to control your monkey when actual danger is in the present, is present. Otherwise, the monkey's like, oh yeah, and another thing. Oh God, right? Just don't. Do not deny it's happening. Again, we live in incredibly safe times, and I think I've talked about this. The assumption of safety, that we don't realize we can get killed, right? And we are so accustomed to living in a world that the only concerns and dangers that we have are monkey concerns. My God, he hurt my feelings, right? I'm not going to let him get away with that. You know, the monkey tends to deny actual danger for its own agenda. The lizard's like, don't do that, don't do that. Oh, by the way, just so you know, the lizard has absolutely no problem running fiercely. I mean, pew, whoop, gone. The monkey and its pride, its ego, whatever you want to call it, will say, nobody's going to tell me to leave. Right? And it will keep us in a dangerous situation and then proceed to do these 5+1. Well, denying that there's a danger can come in many forms. But, you know, I have a story about my girlfriend had a friend at culinary school, and the guy was a stalker. He was really dangerous. He'd done some stuff that they finally brought her to me, and I said, don't, look, if you see this, this, and this, and this, get out of there, because this situation is becoming dangerous. Well, one night, this, and this happened. And my girlfriend, you know, walked out, saw the guy in the parking lot, and he was drunk, and she said, you know, whoops, she turned back in. She spoke to the guy. Oh, he's waiting to talk to her, to the other woman. She goes back and she goes, he's out in the parking lot, and, you know, just like Mark said, he's drunk and blah, 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 blah. And this woman was furious. She was going to go give him a piece of her mind, right? My girlfriend finally got through to her by saying, look, he might have a gun. Ooh, there's real danger, yeah. So anyway, they got her out of there without any problem, yay. But denying the danger, right, is a very big problem, especially when we put the monkey agenda ahead of everything else, and that'll get you in trouble. The fifth thing is giving a face-saving exit, and that is especially true if you have the means to defend yourself, okay? Because a lot of times what will happen is somebody will be setting up an attack, they'll be setting up an interview to see if they can get away, and then they decide, oops, this guy's too much. Well, great. You now got a situation where, right, so, you know, let him withdraw with dignity. Okay, I know it sounds right, but, you know, giving him a face-saving exit is you let him go without going, yeah, you better run, you punk. Don't do that. It'll bring him back. It's kind of like getting the last word that brings somebody back in an argument. Don't do it. Especially, by the way, if the guy is doing an Elvis has left the building. I love those, right? Oh yeah, well, right? You know what's important? Not what he's saying, but the fact that he's leaving. Sorry, funny memory about sending a drunk down to the state capitol to complain about public intoxication laws. I'm a bad man. Anyway, but, so, give him the face-saving exit. The other thing, the last one, is do not imperiously command. This is kind of like rolling it all in together, the first three together, but with a certain dash of the Red Queen from Alice in Wonderland of off with his head, right? Don't give an order that you are not ready, willing, and able to immediately back up, right? So looking at somebody going, leave me alone, right? Not gonna fly well. Remember, there's two monkeys in a situation, yours and his. And if you trigger his monkey, he's going to feel obligated to attack. Now, in closing this, I want to point out something that Rory Miller pointed out very appropriately on this. And we'll talk about social and asocial violence at another time. But if you know the term already, know this. Peytons 5+1 will not de-escalate asocial violence. Okay? It will de-escalate social violence, okay? It's important to understand that asocial violence cannot be de-escalated. It can only be deterred, okay? A very important thing. We'll talk about that in another video. But I will tell you that what Rory, when he talks about it not working to de-escalate, he is correct. But I will add that if you do this to asocial, especially resource predation, you're going to escalate it, right? Because now you made it personal, and the guy's going to shoot you just for insulting him and disrespecting him. That's a very real thing. So 5+1 works in all types of violence. Well, yeah, mostly. But the thing is, keep this in mind. Don't let your monkey write checks your ass can't cover. Or even if you can cover it, don't let the monkey get you into unnecessary violence, because it's just got to get that last dig in. Because usually that's what these are.